And now the next case.
All parties in the matter of Hinkle versus Burkhardt. Step forward, please.
24-year-old teacher Tanya Hinkle is suing her ex-fiancé, construction worker Shane Burkhardt, for the cost of a reception hall and for the cost of a wedding dress.
Miss Hinkle, you and the defendant were engaged. He broke off the engagement according to your complaint. You want him to pay for some expenses that were incurred by you or your mother, down payment on a hall, dress, etc. And you want the paperwork on your engagement ring.
Yes.
What are you doing with the engagement ring?
I was going to try to sell it.
Why?
So that I could pay off the rest of the wedding. But I can't get the paperwork because the defendant won't give it to me.
Why should he give it to you? You're supposed to give the engagement ring back to him.
Yeah, well, he proposed to me and broke it off.
So what?
So I thought it was a gift.
No. An engagement ring is a ring given in contemplation of you two getting married. And if he broke it off, there must have been a reason that he had doubts. Even if he had no reason to have doubts, it was good that he decided to call it off before he married you, if he wasn't going to be a good husband. The ring goes back to him. There's no issue with regard to that. I mean, once you're married, and if you're divorced, well, then the contract has been fulfilled. You were married, the engagement ring stays with you. But before the wedding, it goes back to him. Where is it? Can I see it, please? It's lovely. Give it to him. You still paying it off?
Yes, ma'am.
Good. How much was it?
The total was $27.95, I think, was the total on it.
And if you go to sell it, how much do you think you're going to get for it?
I'm not sure. I haven't looked into it.
Maybe
never,
half.
Never tried, yeah. Possibly.
Maybe. You never get.
Possibly half, yeah.
Unless you're dealing with the Hope Diamond.
Right.
You know, you're not. They usually don't appreciate in value.
Right.
Everybody makes a profit. You go to sell it. Maybe you're lucky if you get half. So you're going to be out probably $1,400.
Right.
That's you on the negative side. And how much did you spend on the wedding so far?
$1146.92.
So you don't want to have to pay him any money, do you?
No.
Good. So we're going to call it even, and you're all going to go home, and you're going to say, lucky, we called it off when we should have. He lost $1,400 on the ring. You lost $1,100 on the wedding expenses. Goodbye and good luck. Thank you.
99 on the calendar in the matter of Jones versus Escada. Parties have been sworn in, Judge. You may be seated. Folks, have a seat.
I'm really a little confused with this case, but we're going to make sense of it. Miss Jones, you're suing her because you say she filed false charges against you of hit and run.
Yes.
The hit and run was not against her person, but against a car that she was driving in.
Yes.
Is that right?
Yes, that's correct.
There was an incident involving the defendant.
Yes, there was.
First, tell me when the incident happened.
The exact day, it was on or about May 1st.
Tell me about it.
I was moving back into my home, and
you were moving back into your home from where?
From a corporate leasing unit.
Okay.
I rented a 26-foot U-Haul truck. I asked the guy to help me move, and he knew the defendant's boyfriend.
Did you know this person?
Not personally, no.
How did you find this person?
Just through verbal acquaintance, just seeing him around town. He's a handyman.
What's his name?
Michael Alexander.
So you asked Michael if he would help you move?
Yes. He then got the two other guys and said, you know, they were good workers and they will also help because I had a lot of furniture.
Okay, so there were going to be 3 men.
3 men.
And you rented the U-Haul?
And I rented the U-Haul.
Where did you pick them up?
I picked them up on 3rd Street East in Lancaster, California at Michael's home.
What happened the second day?
The following day, we had agreed the previous night to meet back at Michael's house early in the morning. I did so. I arrived.
So you, again, went back to Michael's house to pick up the 3 guys?
To pick up the 3 guys. As the one of the guys was walking out, he was arguing with someone in the house. I asked him, was he okay? Did he need to stay back? He said, no, let's go. So all 4 of us got into the truck. I drove off. Went back to the house, unloaded the truck. Later on that day, I was going down Avenue K, headed westbound. He spotted his girlfriend.
Were the 3 men still in the truck?
The 3 men are in the truck. I'm driving down Avenue K, which is a main street. I'm heading westbound. He spotted his girlfriend, which apparently is a defendant.
Had you ever seen her before?
No.
Never laid eyes on her before that day? Go ahead.
And he makes a comment to another guy. He said, oh, there she goes. She's about to turn around. I quickly glanced in my rearview mirror. I didn't really see anything. A few seconds later, she was behind me on my left-hand side, honking her horn and motioning me to pull over.
What kind of car was she in?
A little blue Toyota Tercel, something compact and small.
Now, how is she telling you to pull over?
Honking her horn and motioning like this. And so then I asked the guy, I said, do you want me to pull over? He said, no, she just wants to argue, just keep going. So I did. A few seconds later, she's now on the right side of the truck.
She's on the passenger side of the truck.
On the passenger side of the truck. Okay, she just got over. She's doing the same thing. And I asked him again, I said, are you sure? He said, no, keep on, she'll eventually pass. And I said, okay, fine. So I keep driving. She was yelling and screaming.
What was she yelling?
She was yelling profanities at him.
At him, not at you?
Not at me, okay, not at first. When she got closer to the window, though, because it was a long truck, when she got closer to the window, she did call me a B. But prior to that, she was, on the side of the truck yelling and screaming at him, and they flipped it. I don't know, she flipped him off, and then he flipped her back off. So then they had a flipping off match, okay? And so I kept driving, and that was that. I moved all that day, nothing. And the following day, I got a call from the Palmdale Sheriff's Department, said that they wanted to come look at the vehicle because they had been involved in a hit and run.
First of all, who was that guy who knew me?
Speak not until I speak to you. So it is your testimony
Yes.
that at no time did you ever hit her or hit her car?
Whatsoever.
Now, were you ever arrested?
No.
What happened?
The officer came to my house. He took a photograph of me. He told me to wait there at my house, that he was going to take the picture to her. If she verified that it was me, that he was going to come back and arrest me, for me not to go anywhere, to stay home that day. And I did. I was moving anyway. He never came back that day. I didn't hear anything, so I figured, okay, it's all taken care of. About a month later, I get a notice in the mail from the DMV stating that someone has inquired as to my driving record. Then I get a letter from the Sheriff's Department stating that I need to appear in court on charges of a hit and run and property damage. And
Do you have a copy of that letter?
I don't have a copy of the letter, but I was summoned to court.
You have a copy of the summons?
No, this is the court dates, and the days I appeared in court.
Am I correct, Miss Jones, that the trial in this case commenced? Jury was selected.
Yes.
The first witness was called by the people.
Yes.
That was this lady right here.
Yes.
The second witness that was called was her mother. I assume that's you.
Mother-in-law.
You're not her mother, are you?
No.
Then be quiet. Then the matter was adjourned.
Yes.
And when everybody came back, the district attorney moved to dismiss the case.
Yes.
The district attorney moved before you even had an opportunity to put on your case. At the
Yes.
end of their case, the district attorney said, we move to dismiss in the furtherance of justice. Is that right?
Yes.
Now, this report says that they found on your U-Haul a smudge of blue paint that was consistent with the blue paint on the car, her car.
Yes.
Can you explain that to me?
Yes, I can. When she got on the right-hand side of the truck and she was driving and cussing and carrying on, she skinned the side of the truck. At 35 miles an hour, she claimed that I hit her, that she skid and collided with me at 35
No,
miles an hour.
I read what she said.
Okay, these are the photos.
I read the exact statement she gave to the police, which contained no information about her boyfriend being in the car, anything like that.
Yeah.
As far as her statement to the police was concerned, you were total strangers and you totaled her car, and so may I see the photographs that you have?
In the photographs, you will see her car. The hood of it is dented and the grill is missing, but she admitted in court that that was damage that was done previously. That was not damage caused by the U-Haul. At 35 miles an hour, she wouldn't have had a front.
Okay. Now I'd like to hear you.
On May 1st, I was coming from East Side. All of a sudden, I see this U-Haul truck approaching me on the opposite side. She turned to the left. I just put the steering wheel a little bit to the right. That's why she hit the car. I have my pictures right here. On the side, you can see that's when she hit it.
What's your boyfriend's name, or what was his name?
Gino?
Gino. Was Gino in the U-Haul?
No.
Really? She says there was a person driving in the car who you knew. Is that true?
No. I don't know what.
Really?
I don't know
Ms. Jones.
what she's talking about.
Yes.
I don't know who's this guy. No.
You know who that person is?
No, even when I went to trial, they asked me. I didn't know him.
What about Michael?
Yes, I know. That's the guy I knew.
You have Michael's telephone number?
Yes, I do.
I'll take it.
1
Now, why do you believe that the district attorney moved to dismiss the case after you and your mother testified?
I don't know.
You have no idea? All right. What's your name, by the way?
Gino?
Gino! You weren't in the U-Haul at that day, were you?
Nope. And I've been with her for 19 months.
Okay. Well, let me go see if I can get in touch with Michael.
Judge Judy continues in a moment.
I want to see this person and to identify me, and I'll do the same thing to him. I am not going to let these people lie. No.
Real cases, real people. Judge Judy. Monica Jones says Martha Escada falsely accused her of hit and run. She claims Martha was trying to pull a scam.
Well, Michael isn't there, but maybe I can get some information from the district attorney. By the way, do you have any photographs of your cars?
Yes, and I have another question. Who's this guy that she's telling you that that guy knew me? I want to see this guy, and I want to see if he's telling the truth. I don't know this guy. I don't know what she's talking about. I mean, bring the guy, tell me to my face that he knew me, and I'll tell to his face that I knew him too.
The question is not whether this guy knew you, madam. The question is whether you pulled up on the side of her truck. There was somebody in the car that you wanted to talk to. She wouldn't pull over, and then you claimed that she hit your vehicle and took off. She says that the U-Haul, it did in fact come in contact with your car, but it was because you were driving like a nut. So
Nope.
I want to see what the district attorney
That
has to
is
say.
not
If
true.
I can find the district attorney's name here, Richard Quinones. Let's see if we can locate him. And you have the paperwork while we're getting, see if we can get the
I have the
number.
police
You have the
report right
paperwork?
here, and I have pictures of my car.
Okay, let me see.
Also wanted to show the character when the police went to serve her. She said they didn't live there, and they do.
You didn't live where?
Initially when they went to serve her, and she said, "Oh, no one's here by that name. No one
Okay,
lives
about
here."
that.
And then the 10 days, my loss in pay, I brought my pay stub.
Just a second.
Okay.
I have to first find out whether these are false charges.
Okay.
That's what I have to find out.
Okay.
Do you understand?
All right. Yes, I do.
I mean, I wish I could get in touch with old Michael. That would make things easy. But since I can't, and you don't know the names of any of the other people.
No, I don't.
Okay. But why don't you have a seat?
Is it okay if I...
Yes, is Mr. Quinones there, please?
Yo estaba discutiendo con ellos y yo me puse a un lado de ella.
Very good. Thank you very much, sir. I haven't been able to reach either the district attorney at this hour, nor Mr. Alexander, but I'm going to try.
Okay.
So I want you to just hang around, and I'll see you back here as soon as we are able to get either one of these two people who should
Okay,
be
I
able
just
to
gave my
give.
cell phone number.
You have a cell phone number for whom?
Michael Alexander.
Oh, that's perfect. Maybe we can do that. Yes.
When they went to serve me to that address, I moved since December. So I don't live in that address anymore. I live in Lake LA.
It's not important. Why is that important?
Because she said that when they went looking for me at that address, somebody told the police officer that...
And I
there's no
told her
one-
that wasn't important.
Okay.
The only thing that's important to me is whether or not you knew or appeared to have known someone who was driving in the truck with her on that date. And I would be also curious to find out why the district attorney moved on their own motion to dismiss this case after you and your mother testified. So we'll see you back here. Okay. Thank you. Well, I managed to speak to the assistant district attorney who handled the case. And after speaking to the assistant district attorney, he did in fact confirm to me that after the two of you testified, he decided to go out and have a personal look at the car that you say was damaged by the plaintiff. And after he made this personal inspection of the car, he believed that the damages to the car were inconsistent with the testimony that the two of you gave in court before she even had to put on her case. So he doubted your word, especially yours. That's number one. Number two, we were in fact successful in securing Michael Alexander's presence here for the recall. So, Bert, I believe Mr. Alexander is outside. Would you bring him in, please?
Sure thing, Judge. Michael Alexander?
Would you swear the witness, please?
Sure thing. Sir, raise your right hand. Do you swear to tell the truth in the matters before you?
Yes, sir.
State your name for the record.
Michael Alexander.
Mr. Alexander, prior to coming into court just now, did you speak to Miss Jones?
Yes.
Did she tell you the questions that she thought I would be asking you?
No.
Okay. You helped her move sometime in, when was it, May?
Yes.
And you had a couple of other people that you had gotten to help
Yes,
her?
ma'am.
Who were those other people?
Keith and Jose.
Do you know their last names?
No. I met them at labor.
There came a time that Miss Jones came to your house to pick you up.
Yes.
And these two other men were with you in the truck and you moved one day.
Yes.
Do you remember the second day of your move?
Yes, ma'am.
Do you remember an incident involving this young lady right here?
Yes.
Look at me and tell me what you remember.
Well, I remember that we was traveling down Avenue K after we dropped off her furniture at her house and was headed back to the storage. And Jose said, that's my girlfriend. And I seen her throw a U-turn.
Jose, put your hand down. Jose said, that's my girlfriend.
Yes.
Where was she when he said, that's my girlfriend?
She was headed east coming down Avenue K.
And what happened next?
She threw a U-turn and she came up on the U-Haul and she was driving all erratic and fast. She was flashing her lights and blowing her horn and doing hand signals up out the window. And
Did Jose say anything to her?
he said, well, she asked him, do you want me to pull over? And he said, no, don't stop. She just wanted to argue. And so we kept going.
Did you see Jose after the move? Have you seen him since?
No.
Have not?
No, ma'am.
Is there any question in your mind that this was the young lady in the car?
No.
Look at me. What color car was she driving?
Blue.
You sure about that?
Yes.
Okay. If you have any questions for Mr. Alexander, you can ask me and I will ask him.
Okay. Who is this guy, Jose? I don't know nobody by that name, Jose. And I'm not going to let these people get away with it because they're lying. No. I want to see this person and to identify me, and I'll do the same thing to him. I am not going to let these people lie. No.
Miss Jones, I've been involved in the criminal justice system for a very long time. And I'll tell you right now, very rarely does a district attorney who takes a case to trial, impanels a jury of 12 people, wastes court time, expends time in preparing a case. Very rarely does a district attorney stand up at the end of their case and say, we don't believe our witnesses to the extent that we're moving to dismiss this case because we don't even want it to go any further. I mean, maybe on one hand I can remember that amount of time. This district attorney didn't believe you, didn't believe your mother about what happened. And I don't know who Jose is, but I certainly see the pictures of your car, and I've listened to her testify. I believe her. That's all I have to believe. I believe that you were having some sort of an argument with a guy who was in that U-Haul it, and you were behaving erratically. She wouldn't pull over. You got ticked off. You called, and I believe that there was contact with the U-Haul. There's no question in my mind that there was contact with the U-Haul. It was your fault. And maybe you thought you could make a couple of bucks. No. That's what I think. That's what I think. And the fact that you called the police. Have you ever been incarcerated before, Miss Jones?
No.
What kind of work do you do?
I'm an accountant.
I think that not only did you cause her trouble, because I looked at how many times she had to appear in court based upon your phone call to the police that was fraudulent, she had to appear in court. She had to be embarrassed. There's a certain embarrassment about it. When it was your fault and you lied. And she's entitled to what she's asking for, which is $5,000. And I'm entering a judgment for that. $5,000 plus plaintiff. That's all. Step back.
Now, this is case number 184 on the calendar in the matter of Brooks versus Stout.
Thank you.
You're welcome, Judge. Parties have been sworn in. You may be seated.
Ms. Brooks, these are your two sons? Mm-hmm. And you're here only because they're minors.
Yes, ma'am.
You weren't present during this incident, is that right?
No.
Why don't you have a seat? And this is your son?
Yes.
And you're here because he's a minor?
Correct.
And you weren't there during the course of this incident,
Correct.
even though if I find in the plaintiff's favor, you're going to have to pay the judgment. But you weren't there. So why don't you have a seat?
Thank you.
Now I have before me the idiots. So you're in one car and you're in another car.
No. I was standing on the side of the road.
Tell me what happened, Justin.
We was driving around the square.
Listen to me. How old are you?
16.
Do you go to school?
Yes, I do.
You were driving around.
We were driving around the loop, and we was at a stop sign, and a truck...
You were at a stop sign?
Yes. And a truck was in front of me, and a truck was behind me, and they blocked me, and I couldn't move. And, like, 6 or 7 girls came up kicking out my car, and I couldn't move or anything. And then all of a sudden I see Tyson running up to my car, and...
How many people were in your car?
It was me, Dustin, and my ex-girlfriend.
Now, did you know these people in the trucks that were blocking you?
No, I don't.
Where had you been that evening?
I was at my girlfriend's house because that was her birthday.
So did she have a party?
No, it was just...
You were?
We...
Just?
Yes. I guess.
Go ahead.
Well, it wasn't actually a party. It was just hanging out at her house, and we decided to go cruising, so we went up cruising.
What's cruising?
Well, cruising the loop, like driving around listening to music.
Cruising the what?
Loop.
Cruising the loop.
Yeah.
What is your version of having fun?
Listening to music and talking to people on the square. That's when that accident happened.
What accident?
That when we got pretty much jumped.
So far, what you've told me is a bunch of girls came up to your car and started to kick the car.
Yes.
Is that right?
Yes.
Let's pick it up from there.
Well, he kicked out the window.
But I thought the girls were kicking the car.
Well, they were, and then he ran up to the car, kicked the window out, and then...
Which window?
It was the passenger right window.
Pretty high kick.
Yeah.
He kicked the window out.
Yeah.
Go ahead, and then what happened?
And then Dustin was getting out of the car to run, and then Tyson cut his arm.
How did Tyson cut his arm?
I didn't see it because I was...
You didn't see it?
I was driving, so...
You didn't see it? Is that right?
That's right.
So then we go to Dustin.
Yes, ma'am.
Are you twins?
Yes, ma'am.
You always dress alike?
No, ma'am.
Did you do that especially for me today?
Yes, ma'am.
Because you thought it would
Yes, ma'am.
confuse me?
No, ma'am.
You're Dustin.
Yes, ma'am.
Tell me what happened to you.
When I was getting out...
What were you getting out for?
To run. Because there were so many kids around, I ain't sticking around.
Just a minute. How many kids were around?
Probably 15.
What were they doing around your car?
Actually, I don't know. They don't like me.
Dustin, something tells me something happened before that, Dustin.
Actually, there was nothing happened. They don't like us because in the past there was the girls.
Who's we?
Me and Justin. The girls that they was going out with their boyfriends and everything. They didn't like us, and
I want you to, at all times when you're testifying, I want you to look in my eyes.
Yes, ma'am.
So the girls didn't like you because they were going out with their boyfriends and blah, 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 blah. I didn't get anything after that. That made sense.
Because we get in fights with them because they don't like us, okay? So
you get in fights with the girls or the boys?
The boys. And so the women hates us for that.
So the girls hate you?
Yes.
Why do you get in fights with the boys, Dustin?
Because I don't know how to read and they pick on me and I ain't taking nobody's crap. It's that.
And
that's the reason.
And so, because of that, you think that these people don't like you. You don't say anything to them.
No.
You never start up with you never start up with them.
No.
Does your brother know how to read?
No.
Is there any reason?
Yeah, I don't know. I think.
What do you mean you don't know? Do you go for special tutoring?
Yes.
For how long?
For how long? Since we was in kindergarten.
Do you go to school every day?
Yes, ma'am.
Every day?
Not every day, no.
Dustin, don't throw the bull at me. Because if you can drive a car, I assume you have a license, you had to take a test. You had to take, as part of the test, a written test.
We didn't take a written test, ma'am.
Really?
Yes, ma'am.
How come?
Because we don't know how to read.
So they allowed you to drive a car without knowing how to read. Stop, go, hazard ahead.
Yes, ma'am.
What state is that?
It's Iowa.
I'm staying out of there. How often do you go to school? Once a week, maybe?
No, ma'am.
The reason why we go probably once a week is because we don't get taught nothing, because they didn't teach us timetables or multiplication tables or anything like that.
So now you stay home and cruise.
No, I don't cruise anymore.
So tell me what happened, Dustin, after you were going to get out of the car and run.
Well, I put my left arm up on...
Watch, right here.
I put my left arm up on the door, and I was looking down to push myself up out of the car, and Tyson come up and cut my arm, and I look at him, I see the knife in his hand, and he took off running with everybody else took off running, and Justin tells me to get back in the car, sit down. By then the truck was in front of us, was gone. We took off, went to the hospital.
You went to the hospital?
I got 5 stitches, and there's pictures and stuff like that my mom has.
Judge Judy continues in a moment.
One of my friends told me because he was going out with one of the girls at the time that they liked. They threatened to kill his baby before.
Real cases, real people. Judge Judy. 16-year-olds Justin and Dustin Brooks claim 17-year-old Tyson Stout attacked them with a knife. Tyson says the twins threatened to kill his friend's baby.
Now, were you charged with assault?
No, ma'am.
What were you charged with?
Burglary in the 2nd degree.
Burglary?
Forcing entry into an occupied structure.
Tyson, I want you to tell me, and I want you to be very careful, Tyson, because, you know, I already got their story. I want you to tell me your version. By the way, you go to school in Iowa?
I don't go to school. I got my GED. I'm starting college in February.
Does anybody ever finish high school in your jurisdiction?
No.
No. All right. Tell me what you were doing standing on the side of the road, and what was going on at the side of the road where these guys were cruising.
Me and some friends were just staying around.
Listen, you're starting college next year?
Yeah. Some friends and I.
Yeah.
We're standing around talking, having fun, and then these two, they just keep on driving around mouthing and...
Mouthing what?
Just calling us names and...
Like what?
Old, stuff like that, the F word.
And how many times did they drive around?
Probably 2 or 3.
Any of that sound familiar to you? Justin and Dustin?
No, because...
Go ahead.
And about the 3rd time they pulled around, we had a car, not a truck, stop them. And one of my friends told me, sticking up for one of my friends, one of them told me that they've threatened to kill his baby before because he was going out with one of the girls at the time that they liked, and she had a baby. And he told me that.
How old was this genius?
18.
Go ahead.
I was going to go up and say something to him. He rolled up the window real quick, got mad, kicked the car door.
You went up to the car because you were really mad because a friend of yours told you that somebody disrespected somebody.
Threatened his family.
Threatened his baby.
Yeah.
So that you went up to the car to confront them, which was very...
Wrong.
Stupid.
Yeah.
And then he did the smart thing. He rolled up the window.
Yes.
Because he had been doing a very stupid thing, cruising around and calling people names and, you know, just being a general Tweedledum and Tweedledee, being 2 idiots. Right?
Yes.
Because I expect the truth from you. I really expect the whole truth from you. From them, I didn't get the truth so far. All I got from them was they were just driving around being very mild young men because They suffer from a handicap because they can't read, because they have a disability, because despite the fact that they go to school every day and try very, very hard to learn, they can't learn to read, right?
Yep.
So I expect the truth from you. Now, you went up to the car, and how many times did you kick the car?
Once.
And when you kicked the car once, did you break the window?
Yes.
What happened next?
I ran to a friend's car, got in the car, and left.
Did you at any time cut Dustin with a knife?
No, ma'am.
Were you ever charged with cutting him with a knife?
No, ma'am.
Anybody have a police report?
Your Honor, I went to get a police report, but they couldn't release it because he was a juvenile.
Nobody has a police report.
I couldn't get one.
Now, you were found guilty of whatever, of vandalizing the car, which you did kick
Burglary.
at least once. Burglary.
Yes.
Was this the first time you were convicted of anything, or have you been convicted of something before?
Had possession of alcohol charge before and assault causing injury before.
Assaulting whom?
A kid is picking on my little sister.
And what did you do to him?
Put him in a headlock, slammed him into the locker.
Tyson, you got to learn to control yourself.
I have.
Do you understand that?
Yes.
Well, you haven't. At least you didn't on that evening, because you went up to the car for no reason. This fight didn't concern you at all.
No.
And you went up there and kicked their car. Now, according to you, Justin, there were a lot of girls around there who were kicking your car.
Yes, ma'am.
Did you charge any of them?
No, ma'am.
Why not?
Because I was not going to get out of my car because there was too many of them, and I'm not going to get out of my car to hit a girl.
I didn't ask you why you didn't hit him. I asked you why you didn't tell the police that there were a lot of people there kicking your car, making dents in your car before he came
We did.
to the
I did,
car.
ma'am.
Did you have damage to your car?
Not by the girls.
How do you know that?
Because I live on a gravel road with and I had a lot of dust on my car, and there was no dents or anything.
So the only damage that was done to your car was him knocking the window out of your car.
Yes, ma'am.
Is that right?
And when I was trying to get out of the car, I accidentally put my foot through, like, where my speaker was, because my foot got caught.
What were you trying to get out of the car for?
Because I was going to run.
15 people around you and you were going to run? Or were you going to fight them?
I was going to run.
Have you ever been arrested before?
Yes, ma'am.
For what?
Fighting.
There's no such crime in the penal law as fighting.
Assault.
There's assault in the penal law. And you?
Same thing.
Assault.
Yes.
How many times, Justin, have you been arrested for assault?
Numerous times.
And you, Dustin?
Same thing.
How many times have you been found guilty of assault?
Every
Many
time.
times.
Because I committed to him.
What do you mean you committed to him?
I said
Plead guilty.
I told him that I did it. I didn't lie about it.
But you don't learn. Can I see the paperwork on the order of conviction for burglary and any other paperwork that you have with regard to a court order by a judge? Moms, you can stand up now. I want to see it. Tyson, how come you lied initially?
So I didn't want to get in trouble for it.
Who did you lie to? Police?
My JCO,
What's JCO?
juvenile court officer.
And when you lied to the juvenile court officer initially, Tyson, did you lie to him the same kind of face that you're lying to me?
No.
I want you to show me your lying face.
Grin.
What?
I have a grin on my face when I lie.
Really? He believed you when you lied to him initially, right?
Yep.
It's just sometimes hard to figure out who's lying and who's not.
Yep.
Do you understand?
Yes.
Ah, right. Because the first time you spoke to your juvenile officer, you told me you didn't know. I don't know. I wasn't there. Well, after you had this problem in 1999, Tyson, you were expelled from school for another problem with another student. Is that right?
Yes, ma'am.
Got a bad temper?
Yep.
Now I'd like to see the paperwork you have as a result of this incident.
I just got medical bills here.
So you didn't turn it in to your insurance?
The hospital didn't turn it in, no.
I'm surprised. Why not?
That I have no idea. They didn't turn it in. The insurance cards was there, but they never turn it in.
Well, they will. They will. They should. And your boys are covered?
They're covered.
Now I'd like you to come up here, Dustin, because I want to take a look at your arm.
Yes, ma'am.
Is this the scar?
Yeah, big one right there. Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
Tyson, I have to make a judgment whether or not you actually cut Dustin with a knife. And it is my belief that you did. Because when somebody is injured like that, and there's no question, I've read the hospital records, and there's no question he had a laceration, and there's no question that he had sutures. When that happens, you want the person who is responsible to be prosecuted. Now, you were, in fact, charged with assault with a weapon. The fact that you pled guilty to cover all the charges and the rest of the charges were dismissed doesn't mean that you were found not guilty of those charges. It means that you pled. It means that you pled out.
Plea bargain.
That's right. Look how smart you're getting. You also have a temper. Now, these two idiots were driving around, and their mother knows that they were driving around doing the wrong thing, right?
Well, yeah.
They were doing the wrong thing, but that doesn't give you license to take out even a pocket knife, which is what you took out, and cut him. It doesn't give you license to do that. You're lucky. You're lucky that they let you get away with it.
But I didn't stab him, ma'am.
Yes, you did. You stabbed him. You didn't stab him. You cut him. I mean, stabbing is this way.
His ex-girlfriend came up to me last week and apologized for lying to the cops about it.
Listen, you tell me who cut him.
Nobody did.
Sure they did. He was cut.
He cut himself.
How?
With a knife?
Really?
Yes, ma'am.
You think that he's dumb enough to do that? I mean, it's possible.
Yes, I do.
It's possible that he's dumb enough to do that. Possible. I don't think so. And the problem is that you put yourself in the situation by going over, getting involved in a situation that you had absolutely no reason to be involved with. Somebody said something made you mad. You went up to the car, kicked the car, knocked the window out. Stupid. The fact that you started it because you were looking for trouble, driving around, shouting out of the car, you were with your girlfriend, it was her birthday, your mother shouldn't have let you drive a car anyway. They don't go to school. You explain to me why they don't go to school.
They've been on add and subtract since they've been in second grade, and I'm tired of it. 95% of the kids in Iowa get their GED.
In any event, I find that you cut them. I also find that they're a little bit culpable themselves and that they had no out-of-pocket expenses with regard to this injury because the insurance is going to cover it. Now, did he pay for breaking the window?
No, I've got the estimate on
Just tell me how much it was for breaking the window.
The window is at $189, but I've got pictures of other damages that was done to the car.
I don't care what the other damage was done to the car. There were 12 girls around the car that they chose not to identify because your son said, well, we live on a dirt road and the car was very dirty. He went up, he kicked the car, he kicked the window out of the car, and there were 12 other people involved. So it's $189 for the car and $1,000 for cutting him. Judgment for the plaintiff in the amount of $1,189. That's all.
Physical therapist David Hermanson says Secretary Rhonda Moss won't return the money he paid her for a wedding ring. She says he changed his mind too many times.
Order. All rise. Judge, it's number 127 on the calendar in the matter of Hermanson versus Moss. Parties have been sworn in, Judge. You may be seated. Ma'am, have a seat.
Mr. Hermanson.
Yes, ma'am.
You work in the same office as the defendant.
I used to.
At the time of this incident,
yes,
you're working in the same office. And you at that time fell in love, not with the defendant, but with somebody else.
Yes.
And wanted to buy an engagement ring.
Yes, Your Honor.
She had a ring to sell.
Correct.
Said, I want to take a look at it, I want to think about it. Took it home, thought about it, returned it.
Yes.
Then a while later you decided, well, maybe I do want it.
Mm-hmm.
So you told her you wanted it back.
Right. And gave her $300 as a good faith deposit to hold while I took the ring.
For a second time?
Yes.
And then what happened?
Well, I brought the ring to be appraised at a very nice, very good jewelry store in St. Louis, one of the best. He told me the ring was not at all worth what Rhonda claimed it was. I thanked him. I brought the ring back. I gave it to Rhonda. At the time, I did not ask for my $300 back.
Why?
She was very irate. She wanted me to buy the ring. She was in a bad mood, and I never for a moment suspected that she would keep my money.
So you gave her back the ring and you didn't get your money back?
Correct.
And how long did that go on?
Well, later on the same day, Your Honor, I started thinking about it, and I thought, hey, I better get my money back. And I approached Rhonda, who at that time told me I gave the check to my mother, who takes care of all of my expenses, and I had to pay my bills for it with the money. Furthermore, I called my bank, and I found out Rhonda cashed my check the day before I even gave her the ring back.
Because she anticipated that you were buying this ring.
No. I told her that I would have it appraised and let her know the next day, which I did.
What was the total purchase price, by the way?
The price was never firmly fixed, but somewhere over $1,000.
Now, why didn't you take it to have it appraised the first time you had the ring? What'd you do with it the first time you had the ring?
I took it home and I thought about it, and I was really indecisive. I took my time, maybe a week, thinking about it, talking to Holly, my girlfriend, and trying to get an idea of what kind of ring she would like.
And you're telling me that you didn't have it appraised during the week?
Not the first week, no.
And then you took it a second time?
Yes.
That's when you decided to have it appraised?
Yes.
Now, what exactly did you say to her when you took the ring the second time?
I said, Rhonda, I'm not really sure, but I think I might want to buy that ring again. If you'll give it to me again, I will take it and have it appraised, and this time I will let you know for certain whether I want it or not. And if I want it, I will promptly pay you for it. We had negotiated a price of $800 at that point.
So the second time you had negotiated a purchase price?
I believe $800, Your Honor, yes.
Okay. Ms. Moss, let's hear your version.
Oh, my version's slightly different than his. It was before Christmas time, and he had fallen in love with this girl after knowing her for only 4 weeks. And he was all uptight because he couldn't get any place to finance.
See how quiet she was?
Yes.
He couldn't get anybody to finance engagement ring for him. So I was kidding around, telling him I'm going through a divorce. I'd be gladly to sell you mine. And nothing else was really said that day, but the next day he came up to me in the morning and goes, I really thought about what you said. I would like to buy your ring. Could you go get it for me?
You mean he didn't say to you, I would like to see the ring?
No, he just said he would like to buy it. Could I go get it for him? And I said, well, the ring is at my parents' house, and that's, you know, a half hour away. You know, I really can't do it today. He pressured me all morning long. Finally, I said, okay, out of the kindness of my heart, I'll drive out to Gray Summit on my lunch break and pick up that ring for you. So I did. I drove out there. It took an hour. I came back, showed him the ring, and he said, do you mind if I take it and have it appraised? And I finally said, yeah, but he gave me a $1,000 check because he took the ring, and he asked me how much it was worth, and I told him what I had paid for it.
How much did you pay for it?
Approximately $2,400, but I would sell it to him for $1,800. So he took the ring, told me not to cash the check for, I think it was approximately about a week. So he had the ring for a week or so, and then came back and said, you know, I don't think I want this ring. It wasn't as much as worth as much as what you had said. He gave me the ring back, and I gave him this $1,000 check. The next morning, my pager goes off 3 times before I go to work, and it was his voice on there. Please, Rhonda, I've changed my mind. I really want that ring. Could you bring it in for me? You know, 3 pages right in a row. So I did. I brought that ring back in for him. And at that time, he's, you know, all upset because his finances weren't that well and that he really couldn't pay $1,800 for it. But we made an agreement. I said, I'll sell it to you for $1,000. At that time, he couldn't give me $1,000. So he handed me a check for $300 and told me not to cash it till Monday. That Monday came along, I cashed the check and paid bills that I needed to pay with it. He comes up to me and says, my girlfriend broke up with me.
On Monday?
On Monday, after I had cashed the check. I can't buy this ring no longer. I'm like, I'm sorry, we made an agreement. You know, that's it. And later on that day, he came into my office very irate and mean, walked into my office shaking and telling me, you got to give me that money back. And he had me frightened. And from that point on, he wouldn't speak to me. He'd just come up to me and look at me like, you know, he'd kill me.
So now you have the ring and it's $300?
Well, the ring is missing. All this time since I've been separated, I kept the ring at my parents' house in a safe place. Now with all this hassle, I couldn't tell you what happened to it.
All this hassle was he gave you back the ring, madam. That's not all this hassle. He gave you back the ring. So you have the ring and his $300. So even if I said you have to give him back the ring and he's got to pay for it, according to you, you can't do that.
No,
Is that right?
No, I cannot.
I don't believe you. I don't believe that you don't know where this ring is. In any event, you're entitled to your $300 back.
Thank you.
But Mr. Hermanson, just for my own curious information, did you break up with this girl?
Never. And I would...
Is this the lady?
Yes, this is Holly.
Did you get her another ring?
No, but I've done a lot of looking since then.
I'm sure she appreciates you looking.
Judge Judy continues in a moment. And later today...
Jerry, listen to me. That dog clearly likes you. I mean, I saw that the last time we were here. I have to decide what's in the dog's best interest. This is not a pen. This is not a gavel. This is a creature that has emotions.
Real cases, real people. Judge Judy. David Hermanson says Secretary Rhonda Moss won't return the money he paid her for a wedding ring.
Listen, Mr. Hermanson, let me tell you a couple of things that I don't find logical, sir. I don't find logical that you had the ring in your possession for 1 week and you didn't take the ring to have it appraised during the week that you had the ring, but took it to be appraised during the 2 days that you had it over a weekend. That doesn't make sense to me. Irrespective of that, she can't keep the ring and your $300. And she has the ring, and she's lying to me when she says she doesn't know where it is. I don't believe that. So you're entitled to your $300 back. You got it. Judgment for the plaintiff in the amount of $300. That's all.
Thank you.
Parties are excused. You may step out.
Thank you.
In my purse when I was in my office. That's the last time I saw the ring.
I never lied, I never stole, but the person I was suing basically lied and stole from me.
And now the next case.
Parties on Snodgrass versus Levancil. Step forward, please.
Previously on Judge Judy, 28-year-old student Jerry Snodgrass wanted his dog Missy back from former girlfriend, 30-year-old nurse Laura Levancil Vasquez. She's in love with the dog and wants to keep her. The judge decided that Missy should visit Jerry's home to see if she was comfortable with his other dogs. The visit was videotaped. Animal behaviorist Dr. Richard Polsky watched Missy interact with the other dogs during her visit. Jerry Snodgrass is suing his ex-girlfriend, Laura Levancil Vasquez, for the return of his dog, Missy.
How have you been?
Okay.
Hello again.
All right, when you were last here, we had gone through a substantial portion of this case. Very briefly, if my memory is correct, this is the dog an issue. You two had been together for a long time. During the time that you were together, you bought this dog. The dog was registered in your name. You claim it was a partial birthday present from her. In any event, the dog was registered in your name. When you broke up, you couldn't take the dog with you. The dog stayed with you for a substantial period of time. You now want the dog back. Is that where we are at?
Correct.
And what I had suggested was that we try some doggy visitations and see how they went. And in order to further assist me in making a decision, because I felt as if, listen, this is still a warm-blooded, smart creature of God, must have some feelings of its own about where she wants to live. Court authorized the use of an expert witness, and that's Dr. Roger Polsky. Is Dr. Polsky in the courtroom?
Yes.
Could you step up, please? Dr. Polsky, will you please give me a brief vitae? What are your credentials, where you were employed, where you went to school?
I'm currently president of a corporation named Animal Behavior Counseling Services located in West Los Angeles. The primary function of my business is to provide direct training and behavioral counseling services to owners throughout Los Angeles. I have a PhD in animal behavior.
From where?
from the University of Leicester, England.
Did you, at the court's request, attend a visit involving this little dog here?
Yes, I did.
Can you tell me what you observed?
At the defendant's home, I observed her dog in the backyard interacting with the other resident dog, which was a German Shepherd dog. And subsequent to that, I asked the owner to engage the dog, Missy, in certain exercises. And from that, I drew certain conclusions.
I'd like to hear them.
My assessment of Missy is that she fits the mold of a typical terrier, being a Jack Russell dog. She's spunky. I consider her a dominant dog. As a terrier dog, she's very strong-willed, and I believe she has a dominant role over this German Shepherd dog, who is probably 4 or 5 times her size. I also concluded that she is a very people-orientated dog. She's a kind of dog who needs to be with people. I also felt that Laura comes from a family where she was around dogs for her entire life. And she impressed me as a person who has a good understanding of canine behavior and the needs dogs require.
And anything else you want to add to that, sir?
I felt that Missy was comfortable in the presence of that home where Laura resided. I was impressed with the setup she had. It's a very typical terrier. It's a dog who needs people. It's a very strong-willed dog.
And from there, you went to the plaintiff's home.
That's correct.
Tell me what you observed, sir.
Laura showed up with Missy, and I requested that Jerry bring each one of his 3 dogs. There's 3 dogs that resided in the location where he was living. He was living in his parents' home. And Jerry was to bring each dog out singly so they encounter each other on the street. And after Jerry brought the first dog out, I instructed Laura to approach with Missy. And I studied the interactions between the dogs when they came proximate to each other.
Judge Judy continues in a moment. Closed captioning sponsored in part by Real Cases, Real People. Judge Judy. Jerry Snodgrass is suing his ex-girlfriend, Laura Levancel Vasquez, for the return of his dog, Missy.
Did you draw any conclusions as a result of what you saw with the 3 dogs?
With the 3 dogs, well, I eventually observed the 3 dogs in the backyard.
Mm-hmm.
I believe the structure of the situation with the 3 dogs there is that they have a very established social group.
That does not include Missy?
Does not include Missy. There's the 3 dogs whose Jerry parents own. Jerry's residing in his parents' home, and they have these 3 dogs that are all adult, have been living together for a long time, and they have a very closed social group. And we introduced Missy, and she's not a dog person.
You think she's a people person rather than...
She has absolutely a people person dog, a strong-willed terrier, and in that, what Jerry has is a closed social group. He has adult dogs who've been living together for a reasonable period of time, and that's the situation in his house.
What's his plan? You said that you spoke to him before
Yes.
the dog came in. What was his plan?
His plan is to finish school, then to work for the fire department in the capacity as a paramedic. And my concern there was that in that capacity, it would take him away totally from his house for at least 10 days at a time, or maybe a week at a time. That was a concern of mine.
Well, I've heard what your conclusion would in all probability be, and that would be that since the plaintiff at this point is planning a career that would take him outside of the home for an extended period of time, since the dog is clearly a dog that relates better to people than it does to other animals, that the best interest of the animal, based upon that issue alone, would be to continue to reside where she does.
Well, can I add one thing here?
Sure.
Which doesn't get to the ultimate conclusion. When you introduce a dog of Missy's temperament, strong-willed, a dog who wants to have its own way, and you introduce it into an already established group, although we don't see any fighting, I'm wondering what it would do to the temperament of a dog.
Okay. Thank you very much, sir. You're excused. Thank you. Jerry.
Yes, Your Honor.
You got to get another dog if you want a dog. Do you understand?
I understand why, Your Honor.
Well, I'm going to tell you why. You know, it's very difficult to make a decision with regard to this animal because this is not a pen, this is not a gavel, this is a creature that has feelings, that clearly has a social structure. Right? And it's very difficult for me, and I'm certain it's very difficult for any other judge to be put in a position of having to make a decision with regard to what I consider is a living, breathing thing that has emotions. They get sad, they are happy, they get depressed. You've seen that, right?
Mm-hmm.
Right? Doctor says that you plan to start a career that's going to take you away from your home for a week or 10 days at a time.
It's not 10 days at a time, it's 10 days a month.
10 days a month.
Mm-hmm.
10 days a month. And for that 10-day-a-month period, what do you intend to do with this dog?
I plan on hopefully being married at the time, or I lived with roommates previous, and they took care of...
That's iffy. Do you have a girlfriend?
Yes.
Have you discussed marriage with your girlfriend?
Not currently, no.
Judge Judy continues in a moment. Want justice? Call 1-888-800-JUDY.
Jerry, listen to me. I think you've gotten a really fair shake here in this courtroom. That dog clearly likes you. I mean, I saw that the last time we were here. I have to decide what's in the dog's best interest.
I thought your worries were that she would not get along with my dogs at my parents' house.
Well, I'm going to tell you something. If you listen very carefully to what the doctor said that there are 3 adult dogs in your parents' house that clearly have formed a family, a little pack. This dog is not a member of that group. Now, it's possible that if the dog was there for an extended period of time, the dog might become bonded and they might accept her into their family, right?
So,
that possible?
Yeah, it's
just
possible.
about the time you're ready to move. But right now, according to this expert witness, it was very, very helpful to me, this dog has a good home where the dog is comfortable, where the dog relates well to the other single dog that's there, where it's stable, and you're not. You're all over the place. So your case is dismissed. That's all.
Thank you.
Parties are excused. You may step out.
Judge Judy continues in a moment. And on the next Judge Judy.
I'm very happy. It's what was in the best interest of the dog. This is not, like she said, it's not a pen. You know, this animal has been with me her whole life. He's never not been able to see the dog. He chooses not to see the dog. This was out of spite.
Lauren Cardenas for money from selling his motorcycle. Lauren says the money was used for child support.
Order. All rise. Your Honor, this is case number 164 on the calendar in the matter of Cardenas versus Cardenas. Parties have been sworn in, Judge. You may be seated. Sir, have a seat.
You folks are currently divorced.
Yes, ma'am.
And you, sir, are under a $1,200 a month support obligation for your former wife and your 2 children.
Yes, ma'am.
According to your complaint, in addition to your wife and your 2 children, you also used to have a motorcycle.
Yes, ma'am.
And you were called back to the Philippines where your family is.
Right, because my dad was debilitated.
And you left your motorcycle with your former wife to sell.
Yes, ma'am. In an agreement that because of the time of my absence, at least when she sells the motorcycle, there'll be the month that will be paid for the child support because of my stay in the Philippines.
Okay, so you left her your motorcycle and you said sell it.
Right.
And use some of the money to pay my month's support obligation.
Correct.
And how long were you in the Philippines?
Approximately a month.
And when you came back, you had in fact sold the motorcycle.
Yes, ma'am, I did. Yes, ma'am.
I assume you have a bill of sale for me?
I have a receipt from the company telling how much I got for it and what it was.
Fine. And how much did you get for the motorcycle?
$3,400 for the condition it was in.
Okay. And you left, according to these papers, in April.
Correct.
Were you fully paid up in April?
Yes, ma'am.
No, ma'am, he was not.
According to your wife, your former wife, you were not fully paid up in April. You still owed her something, like $300. Is that right?
Yes.
In which I paid cash before I left.
Did you always pay it by check?
No, not always.
No,
because
his
we
checks
had
bounced.
So he would pay you in cash?
Whenever I could get it in cash, that's what I preferred.
Mr. Cardenas, how long are you divorced?
A year.
Approximately a year.
In the future, you should give your wife a money order, not cash.
I know.
Do you understand?
Well, the only...
Take a deep breath. Try to listen to me. Try to listen to me.
Okay.
If you give her a money order, then you will have a receipt.
I understand that from now on,
Good.
Judge.
She says your checks bounce. She doesn't want a check.
That's correct.
I can understand that. But there is a happy medium. You give her money orders.
See, I always have the money, and I always tell, like I told her.
Not always. Just pay attention.
I am.
Good. So from now on, you're going to give her your support payments in a money order.
Money order or check, correct?
No. You say check. I said money order.
Money order, all right.
Money order is where you go to the bank and get a money. Are you chewing gum?
Yes, ma'am.
No. Okay. Let's not talk about April. April is $300. You came back in May.
Yes.
Did you pay your May support payment?
I did not because he sold the motorcycle.
So you didn't pay May?
I didn't.
So let us take off $1,200 for May.
Less $100 because he owes me, she owes me $2,000, which I loaned to her.
Are you supposed to pay him $100 a month?
Yes, I had originally was going to pay his life insurance policy.
Right now, you're supposed to pay him $100 a month?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. So $3,400 you got for the motorcycle.
Yes, ma'am.
Less $1,200 for your May support payment is $2,200 plus $100, right? Because you're supposed to get from her $100.
Right.
Right? So that means that you should have gotten $2,300. Is that right? Now, did you pay June?
No, he didn't.
You didn't pay June?
Correct.
So less $1,200.
May I appeal also?
Just a second. Less $1,200 brings it down to $1,100. And you still are supposed to give him the $100.
Yes, ma'am.
So we got to add on another $100 there. Now up to $1,200. Now we're now in July. Did you pay July?
No, the reason being...
Did you pay July?
No, because he said you paid up till July.
Just a second. So you didn't pay July?
No, because she stated that I'm paid up till July from the sale of the motorcycle.
Just a second. So you said I'm paid up till July, so you didn't pay her in July.
Correct.
So $1,200 less $1,200 leaves zero.
Plus $100.
Plus $100. So what are you here for? What are you here for?
Well, the motorcycle is in a mint condition. I have my witness here that he could testify that the only thing wrong was it's got a flat tire. And all the things that he's saying about the deductions, it's not true because...
Shh, just a second. So what you're saying is she should have gotten more for the motorcycle.
Correct.
But you didn't tell her what to get for the motorcycle. You left her the motorcycle to sell.
Yes, and I asked for the receipt, which she didn't give me.
Oh, well, let's give him the receipt. Is this it? Now he's got a receipt. Now you got a receipt.
Why did she wait till I get down
Just a
here?
second. Now you got the receipt. And you didn't tell her, don't sell the motorcycle unless you get $4,000 for it. You said, here's the motorcycle, sell it. She sold it. She may have taken the easiest way.
No, I told her she was going to get $4,200 for the motorcycle.
You told her she was going to get it. What do you have, a crystal ball?
No, it's a blue book value.
Did you say to her, don't sell the motorcycle unless you get $4,200? Did you say that? Yes or no?
I told her at least $4,200.
No. Don't make it up as we go along.
No, I'm not making it up.
Yes, don't make it up. Did you say to her, do not sell the motorcycle unless you get this amount for it?
No, I did not.
Perfect. So she took the motorcycle and she sold it. She probably sold it the easiest way she could. She didn't put an ad in the paper. She didn't drive around the motorcycle with a helmet on, around the street with a for sale sign. She took it to a dealer and said, give me the money. Is that what you did?
Yes, ma'am.
Perfect. That's what I would have done. She got $3,400 for it, which means that you paid up for 3 months, and you didn't pay her anything. May, June, and July. Now, sir, I could understand you standing here if you said, well, when I came back, I gave her $1,200 in May, I gave her $1,200 in June, I gave her $1,200 in July. She owes me the money for the motorcycle. But I don't understand why you're here.
Judge Judy continues in a moment.
That's outrageous.
The truth has to come out.
You picked him. Mrs. Cardenas.
Are we all entitled to one mistake?
You made a big one.
And later today,
I took care of my mother for 7 long years while she was sick. I did everything. I took care of this child.
No, she did not take care of me.
I
She
went-
kicked me out.
real cases, real people. Judge Judy. Joelle Cardenas wants the balance of the money from the motorcycle his ex-wife, Lauren Cardenas, sold. Lauren says she used it because he was behind in child support.
Why are you here? I'm very confused.
The reason why I'm here is to be able to get, if there's any amount of balance, which I didn't even know because she didn't tell me.
I see.
Your Honor,
All
he did
right,
know.
sir.
I told him from the beginning how much I got for it. I did not have a receipt at that time. I had to go get it for court. I knew I'd have to have one for court. But from the beginning, he called me a liar. He told my children I was lying to him. You know, and he has told them horrendous things, and it all goes around money. Everything around him revolves around money.
That's too bad.
And it is, because he wants the children. He wants to take them away from me. He wants to take them to the Philippines. 14 years ago, I almost aborted my first one. I never told her. A few weeks ago, he decided she needed to know this. This is what I'm dealing with in him.
Mr. Cardenas, did you do that? Did you tell that to your daughter? Did you tell that to your daughter, sir?
Yes, I did.
That's outrageous. Do you think, Mr. Cardenas, that was designed to make your child feel better about herself?
No.
Did you think that was designed to make her feel
No,
better?
I feel that the truth has to come out.
Listen, Mrs. Cardenas.
Yes, ma'am.
I don't have enough years to get through to him, if that's his answer to me. Unfortunately.
That's his answer.
Unfortunately, what did you do? You picked him. Mrs. Cardenas.
Are we all entitled to one mistake?
You made a big one.
Yes, I did.
The only thing that you can try to do is, if this is the response from a man who has 2 children, who he's supposed to love and nurture, to make sure that they grow up feeling really good about themselves, wanted and loved and secure, to tell a child her mother wanted to abort her so that she would be in a jar instead of sitting in a chair, that is the most despicable thing that I tell you that I've heard in a very long time. So, Mr. Cardenas, you take your attitude about child rearing and your lawsuit and get out of here. That's all.
Parties are excused. You may step out. Back up to your right, please.
Why didn't she told me the very beginning? Then I wouldn't have gone to this whole thing.
As far as my children go, I wish that I could actually even told her in more detail what he done, because I need somebody of authority to tell him how he's destroying them. He doesn't see it.
And now the next case.
Parties on Wyrick versus Stanky. Step forward, please.
20-year-old Monica Wyrick is suing her sister, 23-year-old Jennifer Stanky, over a check from their grandfather's estate.
You 2 young ladies are sisters.
Yes, ma'am. Correct.
And this lawsuit isn't about a lot of money.
No.
According to you, your grandfather left some money. $500. $506. Your sister got the check. You think that half of it belongs to you. Well, what I'm interested in more than this little bit of money that we're talking about is why you would bring your sister to court for that kind of money.
Well, Your Honor, when my mother died in 1994, she kept everything in the house, everything. She kicked me out. I was 16 years old. I didn't have anything. We don't have any family at all, you know.
So it's just the 2 of you?
Yes.
Even more of a reason not to squabble over a little bit of money. your position is that this money should go for something else.
Yes, ma'am.
Let me hear.
Okay, when I found out about the estate of my grandfather and found out about the money, I contacted my sister about it. They didn't even know that she existed. They only thought that I was the only child. I brought her in. I said, Monica, we're getting some money from my grandfather. She agreed on one thing.
Was this your maternal grandfather, your mother's father?
Yes, ma'am.
Go ahead.
And I told her, whatever we got, if it was $2, $10,000, $500, the first thing we were supposed to do is buy my mother a headstone.
You mean your mother is buried without a headstone?
Yes, ma'am. I was 19 at the time. I had a 6-month-old daughter. My sister was 15. She was turning 16 in March. My mother died in August. I took care of everything. I took care of my mother for 7 long years while she was sick.
How old was she when she died?
47. I did everything.
She had cancer?
Yes, ma'am. I did everything. I took care of this child.
How old was she when your mother died?
15.
No, she did not take care of me. She
went-
kicked me out.
I went to the courts because I lost the house that my mother was buying because I was only 19 at the time. They didn't think I was more mature enough. My cousin came to me and said, let me take her. You have a 6-month-old. Your mother just passed away. You know, let me help you, okay? She went. She was there 2 weeks in Ocala. Because her boyfriend couldn't spend the night with her, she ran away. I brought her back into my custody. Of Christmas, we got into it.
You got into a fight?
Yes, ma'am. I hit her. I went to jail for hitting her.
How long were you incarcerated?
I was 24 hours. I couldn't do it anymore. A year later, she called me. She had no food, no lights, no nothing. And since of '96, I've been taking care of her.
Oh.
Judge Judy continues in a moment.
Why is she waiting now after 4 years to get my mother a headstone?
I think her name should be on it, beloved mother, and the year.
It's her way or no way.
Closed captioning sponsored in part by Real Cases, Real People, Judge Judy. Monica Wyrick wants her sister, Jennifer Stanky, to give her half the money she received from their grandfather's estate. Jennifer says the money is for their mother's headstone.
Listen to me. She wants to use this money to buy your mother a headstone. Stop a second. Don't you think your mother should have a headstone?
Oh, yes, I do. But why is she waiting now after 4 years to get my mother a headstone?
Where? Just a second. Did you have money to contribute to your mother's headstone?
No, I actually did. I could have used my income tax money like she could have used hers, which she had gotten around $1,000. But instead, she went and spent it on her boyfriend.
Listen to me. Listen to me. Right now, you're dealing with some unexpected money. You're dealing with $500. Not enough to buy a really fancy headstone.
Right.
But for something. You only had one mother. Did you care about your mother?
Oh, I loved my mother. Of course I did.
So?
But the reason I didn't let her keep the $253 because I knew she wasn't going to use it towards the headstone. She has said that 4 years in a row, and she never once tried to even get my mother a
Let me ask
headstone.
you this question. If I could assure you that this money would be used to buy your mother a headstone, would you be prepared to use it for that purpose?
The problem is, okay, fine, I agree to, spending the money on my mother's headstone because I love my mother to death. I always have, always will. But we won't agree on, exactly what, we want on my mother's headstone.
Okay, listen.
It's her way or no way.
Just a second. We're going to resolve everything today. First, we're going to use that money, and you can go together to make sure that the money is used for that purpose to satisfy you if you want to. And I will have an order prepared for that purpose. But let's not leave today without deciding what's to be written on the headstone. How's that? I mean, I've never done that before.
Hey, good idea.
I mean, I've never done that before for strangers.
Good idea.
I've done it, unfortunately, for myself,
The only
but not
thing
for
I
strangers.
said was, it charges more for writing. I think her name should be on it, beloved mother, and the year. She doesn't need a long speech.
Yes, she does. She deserves it.
Okay. Now, the question is, everything that you write, listen.
Costs more.
Shh. Every letter that you write in the stone costs money. can we agree that if your mother's name, beloved mother, the date of her birth and the date that she died, is what you can get for $525, which is a very small amount of money, then that's what it'll be. If he's prepared to write more on the stone for the same money, she would like something else on the stone. Are you prepared to do that?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Tell me what else you're shaking your head like this.
You just don't know her. She's
know me.
What I'm
You
telling you is
me.
this is
You
going...
killed my animals.
Hey,
What more?
hey. This is going to be reduced to an order. So I'm trying to get the order down so that we have the entire order so that there are no mistakes. Do you understand?
Oh, I understand.
Good.
Judge Judy continues in a moment. Want justice? Call 1-888-800-JUDY.
What else do you want on the stone?
Maybe not so much the writing, maybe just the color of the headstone. Because they have a pink marble headstone that I have looked at, you know, because when my mother was buried, she did everything wrong.
You would prefer a pink marble?
Yes, I would.
Okay. If you can get the pink marble for the same price, I somehow doubt it, but if you can get the pink marble for the same price, your sister's prepared to agree to that, aren't you?
Yes, ma'am.
Fine. What else? Good. So the order that the court will have drafted is as follows, that the $506 will be used to purchase a headstone for your mother. And the writing is not a problem because the writing is exactly as you've indicated and you've agreed to. Her name, beloved mother, the year of her birth, and the year of her death. It will be a pink marble stone as per your request if that can be honored at the same $525 price. Agreed? Agreed?
Yeah.
Great. That's all. Thank you.
Parties are excused. You may step out.
Judge Judy continues in a moment. And on the next Judge Judy, Victoria Guerrero for a car loan and an engagement ring. Victoria says her ex-fiancé, Alfred Jr., should stand up to his parents.
Order. All rise. Yeah, this is case number 157 on the calendar in the matter of Martinez versus Guerrero. Parties have been sworn in, Judge. You may be seated. Have a seat. Sir, have a seat.
Mr. and Mrs. Martinez, this young lady was engaged to marry your son. Is that right?
That's correct.
This is the son.
Yes.
And you are suing her because they broke up, and you claim that she owes you money for a car. You advanced some money for a car, and also for her engagement ring.
Correct.
Which was put on your Visa credit card.
Correct.
Well, let's start with the car, because that's probably the most difficult. Tell me how much you laid out for this car, sir.
$3,500.
Okay. And did you give it at one time, the $3,500?
Yes, ma'am.
And whose hand did you physically put the money in?
I put it in Victoria's hand.
In her hand?
In her hand.
Is that correct?
That's not correct.
That's when we went over and picked up the car, and I gave it to, right in front of the guy that we bought the car from. I got the money, and I'd given it to her, and she, in turn, turned around and gave it to the guy.
Where was he?
He was right next to us.
So what you're telling me, Mr. Martinez, is instead of giving the money to your son, you gave it to her.
Correct.
Why was that?
Well, due to the fact that he didn't have a license at the time, she was going to get the car and register in her name, so this way I'd be out of liability. I didn't want any problems with the car.
I understand.
So therefore...
I understand that. What I don't understand, sir, is why you're suing her for the money.
Because she kept the car.
That was the intention.
It was the intention for her to keep the car with them as a couple.
Right.
Not as
so
out of a couple.
So, Mr. Martinez, you lent them both the money.
Yes, I did.
Right. You lent the money to them as a couple, and you lent them because this is your son and you love your son.
That's correct.
So the question is, why are you suing her for all the money?
Because she took the car with her. They're no longer together.
Driver.
And she was the only driver.
Because
and
she
took
was
it
the
back.
only driver because
He didn't
your
have a
son
license.
couldn't get a license.
Correct.
So she would drive him around.
Correct.
Right. Now, Ms. Guerrero, tell me your version of how you got this car.
Okay, prior to this car, we had a Mustang Ford convertible, and I was pregnant at that time, so they wanted us, his father wanted us to get a car with my baby coming. They didn't want it, because the car didn't have air conditioning, and it didn't have heater, so he wanted something nicer for our daughter. So then, that's when he had mentioned to us about his friend selling a car. So then he took both Alfred Jr. and myself to go look at the car, and then that's when we went ahead and we decided we wanted the car. Then Alfred Martinez Jr. said that the car was going to be for me as a birthday present.
No.
So
Don't speak to her.
That's how I received the car. That's how. Those were his intentions along. That
Whose car was the Mustang?
It was my car. We bought it together, Alfred and I. So then when we sold it, we used the $1,000 that we sold the car for and put it towards the Honda, and then the balance was $2,400. And
$2,500.
And I would keep telling Alfred about, paying his family. His reply was always, "Don't worry about it. I'll take care of that."
Okay. Now, when you separated from Mr. Martinez Jr., you took the car.
Correct.
And you took the car because you say that he told you it was going to be a present.
Correct.
Step up here.
Hi.
Do you want to tell me anything? Because otherwise I'll let you sit down, Mrs. Martinez.
Oh, I sit down.
Okay, go ahead. All right, let me hear about this car, sir.
Like my dad said, we went in. We got the car because Victoria was pregnant. We needed something that would be easier to put the baby in and out of.
So you wanted it so that the baby would be safe?
Yes.
And was the baby born?
Yes.
Is the baby with her mother?
Yes.
Is the baby safe?
Right now, yes, more or less.
With the car?
Not real
In the
safe.
car?
No, ma'am, not with the car.
You mean you don't have the car anymore?
Yes, I do have the car.
You still have the car?
The car's been broken down for several months. It's not even running.
But the purpose of buying the car, Mr. Martinez Jr., was so that your baby would be in a safe car.
Yes.
Now, was it your intention to pay for it?
No. Well, we had to pay back the loan, yes.
So did you do that?
No.
Now, how long were you together with this new car before you left?
Actually, he's the one that moved out in the middle of the night.
Before he moved out, how long were you together?
A total of 6 months.
Now, in that 6-month period of time...
That's not correct, Your Honor.
In that 6-month time, Mr. Martinez, how much money did you give to your father towards the loan?
$100.
You just made that up.
No, I didn't.
Why did you only give him $100?
Because according to Vicky, we never had money, and that's all we could afford.
What do you mean, according to her, you never had money?
Victoria was handling our checkbook. I was irresponsible and let her do it all by herself, and she didn't pay the bills.
So as far as you were concerned, this was a joint debt that you took on to your father, is that right?
Mm-hmm.
So that it's fair to say that you would be responsible for half of that, correct?
Yes.
Good. Now, what do you do for a living, sir?
I work with a gas company.
You don't have money to make a gift to her, do you? Of
No.
You don't have money to make a gift to your son for $2,400?
No.
Good. Well, according to your son, he understood that this was a loan because he says he paid you back $100 of the money that was borrowed. You have the car?
Yes, I do.
You have the baby?
Yes, I do.
The reason you say you bought the car was for the baby to be safe, and that this was to be a joint responsibility. So each of you are going to be responsible to pay him back $1,400. Do you understand? I can't make a judgment against you. Your father's going to have to come to you for the $1,400. That sounds fair, doesn't it?
Yes, ma'am.
Sure.
Judge Judy continues in a moment.
She took the car and she took the truck. Why didn't she leave the car? She just did what she wanted to do. And that's all I'm saying.
Why didn't
Let
you
me shut.
I just
Hey,
want the money.
don't talk. Don't talk.
I didn't
Don't
have to shoot
talk.
you.
Mr. Martinez,
Yes, ma'am.
don't be a jerk.
Real cases, real people. Judge Judy. Alfred and Irma Martinez say their son's former fiancée, Victoria Guerrero, owes them for a car loan and engagement ring.
Now, let's get to this engagement ring. Your son comes to you and says, I want to become engaged.
Correct.
I want to buy Victoria a ring.
Ah!